Hola. Hey. Today is a very depressing day. Very depressing. It's Matpat's final theory. It's very depressing, I know. Very depressing. So I got some things ready.
I will help you find.
Oh yeah! Oh, I told you I was so close to not interrupting it. Oh, I called it. Let's go, Music Man! Music Man! Oh, Music Man! 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 I called it. Go! Let's go! Let's go! 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 Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Go! Oh yeah! Go! 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 Music Man! Go! 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 Music Man! 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 Music Man! 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 Oh! I was so close. Music Man! No!
It's so annoying. If I'm gonna play something, I'm gonna do it on mute. So it's because yeah. It's because I can't hear it. Something I've never heard before is the song by the guy who made what did he make? Oh, why did I say okie dokie? I'm 100% listening to this after this.
Put up your computer, stick a disk in your console's drive.
Sorry guys, I had to relocate from my room. I'm gonna need to go back in there any like a few minutes or so. Teddy! But I'm hiding in the woods because you all know I'm not gonna be left alone for the stream, so I'm gonna try and get done what I can, and let's be honest, probably nothing, because my phone's 11. Teddy! Yeah, this is way better. I can actually hear.
Boot up your computer, stick a disk in your console's drive. Whatever platform you're choosing, it's time to switch on your mind. Could be Super Mario, Shooter Snap, or those evenings down in the mines. But if you look past all those shiny graphics, you'll be surprised what you'll find. Inside these worlds we love, behind our TV screens, there's so much to discover when you peek between the tiny gaps in the story. Science, math, and the law, we've got all that to explore. Plus there's some decent memes. How hard does a headshot go? How fast does a hedgehog go? Frogger might not last a biology class, but have you tried to dissect a toad? How creepers get to explode? The secret's buried in gold. You'll never guess what happened to the guests that were left in that restaurant. Though in every level you beat, in each boss battle defeat, with each achievement your view becomes a bit more complete, and with each twist that unfolds,
Wait,
every level you...
I love that guy. I love that guy. He's an editor for Matpat. Like, I love that guy. I love him. Like, I love him.
Battle defeat, with each achievement your view becomes a bit more complete, and with each twist that unfolds and every mystery is solved, we find a new way to see this ball on which we revolve. These games have secrets inside, and there's a team we can find, but give a blank page and a clear horizon, so why not do a little theorizing? I think it's time we did a little theorizing. It's a whole lot of research, and the clues keep piling up. But you're not a smart games teaser, you're already bright enough. So sit back and grab a Diet Coke or a candle of human souls, and ask if you might survive the jump, chucking nuggets into the hole. Build a city in the sky and you might fall it from the motion, so you think you're trying at the bottom of the ocean. Get the physics right, a glass will probably be broken, then it's still more lucky than the platform ever open. Marionettes, keeping companions fed. How old has Catch'em get? Some we all know sense is next. Had a thought of Markiplier getting freaky with a...
Speaking of sense, hold on, I just really want to listen to Why Did I Say Okie Dokie?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Jake from State Farm, everybody.
This is like my favorite.
T-Mobile built a 5G network so powerful
The
it
five of
goes
us
beyond
make
the
it
expected.
try,
And
but
now
instead of
T-Mobile
passing
5G
by, tearing pages from my mind. Teddy! I don't know why I'm watching Go Video Killers at this point.
I walk to school with my best friend. Surprise, surprise, she's
Guys,
late
she's
again.
late
She's got
again.
a club
She's got a
she
club
wants
she
me and don't
wants me
think
and
I've
don't think
ever
I've
in
ever
the I'll consider
it
it no fan of literature. Books with less pictures than words. Leave me a little bit bored. Hey, they promise cupcakes, so it's a chance that I'll take. More gorgeous girls await me. Okay, I think that I'll stay. Say Ari's thank you, Kate. Natsuki's sweet and cute, say Yuri is deep and brooding. Monica's brains and beauty. There's a festival he's planning. Swear I won't leave him hanging. So many clubs to rival us. I guess it's just the five of us. Just the five of us. We can make it if we try. But each day that passes by is tearing pages from my mind. Just the five of us. No escaping if I try. Though these maidens may seem kind, there's something going on behind. They look so sad and lonely. I sold my soul for poetry. This hell is members only. Why did I say okie dokie? Anger, anger, out, anger, friend.
Somehow all my life just come back to a Doki Doki Literature Club song. I don't know how. Like I remember in the reading FNAF book, it just straight up I just straight up went to Chowder, just a Monica I cover. Just a Monica, just a Monica, just a Monica. How did that happen? Kitty! Oh my god, my dog's missing. Oh, hold on. Oh, there he is. I found him.
I'll walk to school alone again. I'm not a guy with many friends. I got no club, I've time to spend, so I read manga and stay in. I run into Monica, says that I should just join hers. It's a club for books with words, but they need some more members. I say okay, I'll come along for just one day, but just you try to get away. 3 gorgeous girls beg you to stay.
Oh my god, it's raining. I'll be right back. I have to go. Hold on. Come on, Teddy. That lasted about 10 minutes. So I'm relocating. Oh my god. Back to watching.
Natsuki's brutish cutesy, Yuri is too into me. Monica's brains and beauty, it's almost festival time. Could say we're cutting it fine. The task may seem laborious. I wonder where Sayori is. I guess it's just the 4 of us. Just the 4 of us. We can make it if we try. But each day that passes by is tearing pages from my mind. Just the 4 of us. No escaping if I try. Though these maidens may seem kind, there's something going on behind. They look so sad and lonely. I sold my soul for poetry. This hell is members only. Why did I say okie dokie? Well, I'm back at school again. Monica's my only friend. Monica's my everything. My beginning and my end.
Wait a second. When there were the girls here?
No.
Monica, loose and kooky. Monica, sweet and cutesy. Monica, deep and brooding. Monica, brains and beauty. Monica, sees right through me. Monica, all that you need. Monica, all that you need. Monica, all that you need. I'm not an ugly guy, but I can understand why she'd be so utterly in love. She'd leave her clubmates to die. Monica's obsession is ominous, to be honest. Omnipotent goddess, concocting demonic sonnets. I could delete her, but I never could harmonica. So I'm trapped here forever, was my harmonica. Never thought I get it, girl, literally out of this world. Guess she controls the universe. Looks like it's just the two of us. Just the two of us. In this classroom in the sky, crimes of passion are just fine when enacted on AI. Just the two of us. Write a drastic pickup line, leaving characters to die, just to guarantee your mind. She seems so sad and lonely, don't think there's any hope for me. There's hell is members only. Why did I say okie dokie? Why did I say okie dokie? Why did I say okie dokie? That's okay. Why did I say okie dokie? Why did I say okie dokie? Why did I say okie dokie?
Thanks for watching, and a huge thank to the guys over at Examination for this amazing animation. Do be sure to check out their alternate version over on their channel.
What's the bad version? Alright. Let's Sans Nest. Why not? I've never watched it, so by the
New Milk Delicious from Hershey's.
Can you imagine a world where we're all represented by a font? Huh, wonder which one I would be. Too straight. No, not in that way, just straight, as in unexciting. Too, Deadpool. Broadway! Now that's the one, now that's the one! Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where, instead of putting a joke here, I want to ask you a question. If your personality were represented by a font, what font would you be?
Me personally, I'd be, Bubbles font. I don't know what that
Take a
is,
moment and
but
put your font in the comments. I'm really curious to see what everyone has to say. Maybe find a couple new cool fonts to use. Getting bored with old Calibri 11. And with that out of the way, it's time to talk Undertale. Now, I don't think I've ever gotten this many requests to cover a game. Well, except for FNAF. And I suppose FNAF 2. Oh, and then there was FNAF 3. Wait a minute, should I be worried about something here? Anyway, across the board on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter, you all have wanted Undertale. And honestly, I'm glad you brought it to my attention. True loyal theorists will know that Earthbound is my favorite game of all time. So a self-aware RPG in a similar style? Oh man, it's like a gift from the indie gaming heavens. Undertale is a game where every character, from Goat Mom to Grind Fodder, has a sympathetic design and unique personality, motivations, goals, fears. Whether you're saving or slaughtering them, the game makes you feel something every time you enter an encounter. But to me, one character stood out amongst all the rest. Sans. A skeleton named after the font Comic Sans, hence all the font references at the beginning of the episode. If you haven't played Undertale, I'm sure that was a really weird opening. Anyway, Sans is... well, there's a lot of mystery around this guy. And before we get into it, let me put up a very special spoiler warning. Undertale is a game best experienced blind. So if you haven't played it, pause the video and come back after you've finished. I promise you won't regret it. Alright, so everyone out of the pool and ready for the adult swim? Good, because I'm feeling pretty determined to get to the bottom of Sans' mystery. So just to recap for those of you who haven't played the game and ignored the spoiler warning or just need a refresher, Sans is one of the two skeletal brothers who appear in the game. His partner is Papyrus, a loud, goofy trap lover.
Welcome to the underground. How was the fall?
Also named after a font. But in the world of Undertale, their origins are a big question mark. All that we really know is what's given to us by a shopkeeper in Snowden. Explains that Sans and Papyrus, quote, just up one day and asserted themselves. Weird, right? What's more is that while Papyrus is just kinda the goofy sidekick, Sans is much more complex. Sure, he likes fart jokes, but he's also incredibly powerful and deadly serious. Not only is his boss battle the hardest in the game, he's one of the only characters to have knowledge and power over space and time. He often takes shortcuts around the world through ridiculous routes, even walking through walls. He also acknowledges that he's only one of infinite versions of himself, making self-aware commentary of the various timelines that you've played through in the game. He can even count the number of times he's killed you. He acts like an arbiter in this world, passing out judgment on the player's actions in the game, even explaining the secrets of EXP and love, or execution points and levels of violence, just to clarify. In short, he just doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the world of monsters. But then what? Or who is he? Well, the idea that he doesn't belong in Underworld seems to be correct. The evidence seems to point to the fact that he was, in fact, formerly a surface dweller. In the true pacifist ending of the game, as the group looks out onto the horizon, Papyrus asks Sans about the giant ball in the sky. Sans says, quote, "We call that the sun." This is important because A, the usage of the word we and knowledge of the sun shows that Sans has a kinship or knowledge with other humans, and B, that despite he and Papyrus both being skeletons, are supposedly brothers, and apparently appeared in Underworld at the same time, they clearly have two very different histories. Why would Papyrus not know the name of the sun, but Sans would? We get further clues as to Sans' origin as we hear him say multiple times that he wants to go home, or go back.
I think Sans is Steven Universe, me personally, I think Sans is Steven Universe, but that's
Says as much during his dinner date scene at the Metaton Hotel. He notices that the player must want to go home and says, quote, "I know the feeling." He then continues, "Maybe sometimes it's better to take what's given to you," as though he ended up in Underworld by accident. And in a genocide run during his boss fight, he says, quote, "Look, I gave up trying to go back a long time ago." End quote. And before you say he means going back to the surface world, that's clearly not the full story. His very next line of dialogue is, "And getting to the surface doesn't really appeal anymore either." Key word here is either. Yes, he seems to hail from the surface and wants to go back, but based on his dialogue, he no longer considers it his home. It's as though the surface world he once knew is gone, as though he's from a different time. It's pretty intriguing. So we're left with a being that appeared out of nowhere, presumably from the human surface, but from a different time period, who seemingly has the power to teleport. That's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. But here's where things get really interesting. Sans has a hidden workshop that takes a fair amount of searching to find. You could say it takes a lot of determination to unlock. Anyway, obligatory determination references aside, as you start to look for this Easter egg, Sans gives you a key to his room with the...
Alright, time for a Matpat theory. So look when game theory was made. And then film theory, and then GT Live was also filmed the same day, so GT Live... It was like made the same year. Yeah, it was like made a few months after that, and then there was let's go on dial theory. And then let's go on food theory. Makes no sense, right? And then makes no sense, right? Let's go on film theory. What's that about?
Words, it's time you learn the truth. After some searching, you find the workshop, which contains items that leave even more questions. A photo album featuring Sans and a bunch of smiling people you don't recognize, a badge, blueprints with illegible handwriting, and a broken machine hidden behind a curtain. In the latest update, one more detail was added, a hand-drawn picture of 3 smiling faces with the words, "Don't forget." So what's it all mean? Well, a lot of Undertale theorists have been linking these details to a mysterious figure named WG 2D Gaster, a ghostly character who never truly appears in the game. Honestly, covering him is a theory all unto itself, and probably one best saved for another day. Even still, none of the Gaster theories I've seen have been able to explain all the details. In particular, the photo album and the badge. And that's what kept nagging me as I researched Undertale. A badge? That one in particular really stuck out to me. Why would such an oddly specific item be included in this huge Easter egg of a room? Something that supposedly reveals the truth about Sans. Badges just aren't important in Undertale. And then it hit me. What if it wasn't from Undertale? What if this badge was from a completely different game and was in fact the most important badge in the history of gaming? The Franklin Badge. Now, for those of you wondering what I'm talking about, the Franklin Badge is a pivotal item from the Mother series. You know, the one with Earthbound. Or maybe you don't know that one either. You know, the one that Ness from Super Smash Bros. Yeah, well, Ness is from Earthbound, and Earthbound is the second part in this larger Mother trilogy. Alright? Good. Anyway, the Franklin Badge is a really important part of that series. It gets its start in the very first game and carries through the whole trilogy, saving your life multiple times in the process. It's so important that Nintendo has made it a staple item in the Smash Bros. Series. So I asked myself, what if the badge in Sans' drawer was that exact badge? Well, first off, it'd make Undertale connected to my favorite game, thereby making it even cooler. But that's still a pretty big logical leap. I needed more. And let me tell you, as I started looking, more and more pieces started to fit into place. At the end of Earthbound, you're given a photo album covering your adventures throughout the game. To me, it's one of the best, most satisfying endings in gaming to look back on your journey in picture form. And what does Sans happen to have in his other drawer? A photo album filled with pictures of Sans with people you don't recognize. Of course you don't know them, they're not characters present in Undertale. And note the word that's used here, people you don't recognize, not underworld monsters. So that's two items oddly linked to the Mother series, but then how do the blueprints and broken machine fit in? Well, in the final stretch of Earthbound, Ness and his three friends must travel to the past in order to have their final battle against the evil alien Gygus. To do that, Dr. Andonuts, remember him by the way, he's gonna be important later, with the help of the science genius
I think he is
Apple Kid and Mr. Saturn, create what's known as the Phase Distorter, a machine that allows people to travel through time and space. Except, it comes with a cost. It can't transport organic material. As a result, the young heroes must put their souls into robotic bodies to use the machine and thus save the world. I played this game back in 1997, and I'm not ashamed to admit that when I first saw this scene, I cried. It's devastating. Dr. Andonuts says goodbye to his son. These characters that you've grown to love and care about are suddenly promising to sacrifice their lives. For all they know, there's no possibility of them being able to come back home. It's this incredibly dark departure in the final moments of what was otherwise a fun, quirky, and colorful RPG. So what's all this have to do with Undertale? A lot, actually, but the first thing you need to know is that Mr. Saturns are known for their, let's say, unique linguistic style. That would explain the illegible handwriting on the blueprints. And the machine? I think a broken Phase Distorter is behind that curtain. Now that may seem like a stretch, but it actually explains a lot. If Sans wound up in Underworld via a Phase Distorter, it could provide a reason for why he's a skeleton. He used the machine as organic matter and suffered the consequences. Not killing him, but turning at least part of him into a pile of bones. It would also explain why Sans has given up hope for going home. Remember, the Distorter is a time machine. By being in Underworld, he's not only in a different place, but based on how he talks, he's also in a different time, with no hope of traveling back to the time he came from. But the crossovers between Earthbound and Undertale continue. When you speak to the Apple Kid at the end of Earthbound, he's blown away by the astronomical odds of Ness overcoming Gygus, saying that he's going to continue studying the trait called courage in order to harness its power. Seems awfully similar to the same experiments happening in Undertale around the trait of determination, no? Especially since so much speculation has circulated that Sans is a key player in those experiments. But I'm sure you also want physical evidence, right? Well, don't worry, because I have plenty. During one of the endings of Undertale, we see Undyne and Alphys hanging out on the beach on the surface world. A beach that shares a lot of similarities to the tropical resort location named Summers that you play through in Earthbound. In fact, the geographic layout of the surface bears some striking similarities to the world of Mother. When Undertale's crew of monsters are finally able to reach the surface and look out over the earth, they're met with a beautiful sunset falling across a landscape of a tall mountain, a large city, and a sandy area adjacent to water. Notice the sun's reflection to indicate water, and a lack of trees in this middle section here, hence the sand. Well, in Earthbound, you have the big city of Fourside, complete with skyscrapers, which you reach via a desert that just so happens to be adjacent to some water, and to the east, the mountain in Onetz, where a meteorite lands on Earth. I always called it Onett, but if that's not clear enough for you, Mother 1, Earthbound 0, Earthbound Beginnings, whatever you want to call it, it's had a lot of names, had a map laying out the same geographic landscape, a tall mountain to the east of a large city, separated by a desert, with all of it up against a coast. I don't know about you, but to me it seems like there's a definite connection between the world of Eagleland, again, unclear how it's pronounced, between the world of Eagleland and the surface world of Undertale. But the strongest physical connection, the one that definitely unites these two franchises, comes from none other than Papyrus himself. He wears a custom-made costume known as his battle body, but if you look really closely at the design of the armor, you'll notice some markings on the chest. Is it just a throwaway detail? Oh no! That right there is an exact match to the ones that appear on the chests of Starman, the most iconic enemy of Earthbound. And look at the way he stands. I always thought it was awkward until I looked at the two characters side by side. Papyrus's curved arm and hand is a direct match to the curved arms of the Starman in the Mother series. In short, we have some incredibly strong proof that the Earthbound universe is somehow connected to the Undertale world, which brings us back to our initial question: who is Sans? Well, what if we took it one final step and said that Sans happened to be Ness from Earthbound, sent through the phase distorter during a test of courage, carrying the Franklin badge and his photo album in his trusty backpack. Not only do all the items in the workshop suddenly fit, but so does Sans' behavior. Remember, Sans can seemingly teleport, and Ness just so happens to have the PSI ability to teleport. Now look at the way Sans always stands, hands in his pockets, directly facing the camera. It's a very similar stance to how Ness is depicted standing in most marketing for the game. It even explains why Sans bleeds when you finally hit him. He is, or at least was, a human. Oh, and finally, Sans is only one letter removed from being an anagram for Ness. That's just a fun one. I thought it was worth mentioning. But if there was any doubt, we have to look no further than the creator's previous work. Toby Fox, the man behind Undertale, had previously worked on a Halloween hack for Earthbound. But this just wasn't a simple reskin. The Halloween hack tells the tale of Dr. Andonuts after the events of Earthbound. Remember, I pointed him out? He's the one who made the phase distorter. In Toby Fox's version of the story, we see that after Gygas's defeat, the souls of the kids never return home. Instead, by going to the past to defeat Gygas, they create a new timeline that they're stuck in. As a result, Jeff never reunites with his father, Dr. Andonuts. And Dr. Andonuts goes crazy with guilt, because he's the one responsible for creating the time machine and extracting the souls of his son and his son's friends to send them back to what he assumes was their death. In his mind, he killed 4 kids, and in Toby Fox's game, he's lost his mind trying to deal with that guilt. I'm telling you, this hack is dark. But that said, you see a lot of Undertale in this game. The appearance of amalgamates, the first use of the awesome song Megalovania, the prototypes for Flowey, and the theme of having the choice to be non-violent in an RPG, sparing your enemies. But then why does all this matter to the theory? Well, remember, in Toby Fox's version of the story, the kids don't come back. They're stuck in the past with no hopes of getting home, just like Sans. And in the hack, one character is oddly missing, with no explanation as to why: Ness. Presumably in this timeline, his soul is in a different place than his 3 friends. Which brings us back to Undertale. 3 faces with "Don't Forget" written on it. It's Ness trying to remember his 3 friends. In short, Undertale is a continuation of Toby's version of Earthbound, with Ness never being able to get home, adopting the name Sans, and accompanied by Papyrus, a former Starman, an alien force able to speak English and still equipped with his armor and signature posture, but without any knowledge of earthly things, like the sun. The pieces all just seem to fit. And all we need is an appearance from Pokey/Porky, and we've got ourselves a true sequel. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.
Oh wait.
Now go forth with that knowledge and try to tell me who Gaster is. Don't worry, I'll be looking too. I have a few more
Oh my god, that meme.
Welcome to the under.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% playing this.
Welcome to the underground. Over your balls. If you wanna fuck around, give us your balls.
Hello? Hey, what's up? I need your...
Welcome to the underground. Over your balls. If you wanna fuck around, give us your balls.
Okay, now we actually need to listen to this song. How long the videos are, and I'm gonna just need to do it.
Ordinary dish soaps can leave invisible grease behind. Only Dawn Platinum removes 99% of grease.
Want to read in another language? Double check your translation with the Google app. Just tap the camera icon, choose Translate, and follow along with...
No more games. This is my final episode of Style Theory. So it's either win now or go home as a fashion failure. One final chance to take myself from novice to master. No limits, no budgets. And this time, it's live and in person. Are you ready? Hello, Internet! Welcome to my final Style Theory. In case you missed it, it's not a joke. This is my last episode as host of Style Theory. And I wanted to do something big for it. Something special for this last episode. You see, when I started this channel over a year ago, I knew that it was going to come down to this moment. I wanted to find out what the key to learning good style was. Because I believe that just like anyone can become a theorist, anyone can be a style icon. You just have to do the research, figure out the rules, the hacks, the data behind looking sharp. And when I don't know something, I track down someone who does, and then ask them to teach me. So in part 1 of our epic 4-way stylist showdown, I turned to online stylists to see if the internet would once again hold all the answers. But alas, that road only led to disappointment and me looking like a generic K-pop wannabe. That means that this time, I'm not hiding behind the safety of my computer screen. I'm bringing the experts to me, live and in person, into my home and into my closet. It all started in a closet, and today, that's where it's gonna end. Stephanie and I are determined to find the secret ingredient to elevating our style. And as a surprise gift to all you loyal theorists that have come along on the style journey with us for the past year, at the end of the episode, I'm gonna have a super exciting announcement that you're not gonna wanna miss. It's gonna change the world of fashion on YouTube forever. Editors, set another timer. Alright, that was a bit more intense than I expected it to be, but sure, we'll roll with it. The pressure's on, theorists. We can't afford to waste any more time. The end is near. In our first round of this test, we pitted human against algorithm to take my and Stephanie's style to the next level. And didn't go quite as planned. I highly recommend you check out that episode before this one so you get the whole experience. But long story short, while we learned a lot through the process, we didn't get all the answers that we were looking for. While we got a few good items, we didn't learn how or why these clothes were meant to elevate our style. So this time we're gonna turn up the pressure. No budget, no barriers, no backing out, no matter how out of our comfort zone these outfits might be. So this time we only have two things that we're judging. One, do they get our style? And two, can they teach us to be better at styling ourselves? Should be pretty darn simple, right? Well, we're about to find out. Let me introduce you to our stylist options for today, because theorists, they could not be any more different. On one end, we have Jamie, a part-time personal stylist who does this as her side hustle. Even though Jamie's been a close personal friend of ours for years, we actually had no idea that she did this. But apparently Jamie's wanted a chance to dress us up for as long as we've known her. So today she gets the chance. When she heard that we were doing a stylist episode, she jumped at the opportunity to throw her hat into the ring. And Steph and I jumped at the chance to learn whether or not a personal connection would be key to our experiment's success. Since Jamie's known both of us for years, she's seen what we tend to wear on a day-to-day basis. So clearly she should have herself a pretty good leg up on our likes and dislikes, which presumably gives her an advantage, right? I guess we're about to find out.
I like us being inverses of each other.
Yeah, I know, I like that.
You're the yin and I'm the yang.
Yeah, exactly.
Jamie will cost us an initial fee of $150 per person for the initial consultation and lookbooks. Depending on how long the shoot goes, she also charges an additional $50 an hour, and we'll also need to purchase the clothing from the lookbooks to try on. On the other side of our style spectrum, we have our most expensive option in the entire series, a professional personal styling business from right here in Raleigh called Refined by Teresa. They pride themselves on their multi-tiered services and flexible scheduling, which, as a very overbooked guy, definitely appreciate. Taking a look at their in-person options, we went with their signature closet audit service, priced at $450 a person. Pretty hefty price tag, but it offered us something that no other service touted, the opportunity to learn. By coming in and going through our closet, they're hopefully able to teach us how to take our current personal styling to the next level. No shopping required. They aren't turning us into some new version of ourselves like we saw in the last episode. They're literally trying to take our existing clothes and give them a new, more fashionable life while figuring out what gaps exist in our wardrobe. If they're able to pull it off, well, that could be a game changer. But to reap the benefits of our two talented stylists, we first had to return to our personal purgatory, filling out the fashion surveys.
Woo! Okay, last one. Oh my gosh, 500 hours later.
Okay.
Our first go at this took almost 2 full hours to get through, and by the end, we were over it. O-V-E-R, over it.
Get out.
So to save us all the trouble, let me just speedrun us through my and Stephanie's style. When it comes to Steph, there are 3 words that really encompass her looks: comfortable, quirky, and classic. When it comes to the shapes and silhouettes that Stephanie gravitates towards in her wardrobe, she definitely prefers to keep it classic. So our stylist should be steering clear of very asymmetrical or super revealing items.
Do you have any concerns regarding modesty?
Please, no nipples. Nips out. Please, no nips out. There we go.
Codpiece though, all in. Stay away from the nips, but codpiece. Oh yeah.
But while her silhouettes might be classic, where you do see Stephanie start to show off a wild side is with patterns. Stephanie loves a cute, bold pattern. Whether it's using color blocking or putting cute pasta shapes with faces onto a sweater, she is all in for that. And it needs to be comfortable, meaning no scratchy or stiff fabrics. If she can't take a cat nap in this thing, it is out. When it comes to some of her favorite pieces, sweaters, and more sweaters. As long as they come in fun colors or with a nerdy design, you are a winner in her book. Lastly, as a petite gal, she's always on the lookout to find something that'll help elongate her legs. And then over here, you got me, the guy whose only fashion icon on these surveys is Ken from the Barbie movie. I love bright, bold colors. I appreciate the pieces that make it look like a rainbow just puked on your chest. I mean, for the past 10 or so years, this bright red jacket has become my go-to uniform. Speaking of, I love jackets. Outerwear in general. Honestly, the only thing I might like more than jackets is Diet Coke. I guess my family's in there too. Anyway, as I learned about myself in the last episode, I tend to lean towards structured items that give me a casual internet professional look. When I look at what I'm normally pulling out of the closet on a day-to-day basis, for ease and simplicity, I'm following a pretty regular formula. T-shirt, usually dark, maybe black or with some fun pattern on it, with a bright structured jacket on top. Dark wash jeans, shoes. That said, even though I can very clearly articulate that very predictable formula, I did learn something while filming this episode that was a surprising fact about my wardrobe.
You want to know where I get my favorite shirts from? Museums. How weird is that?
Yeah.
But if you look at the most clothes that I have gotten over the last 2 years, it has been from like an art museum.
It turns out that while Stephanie and I had go-to items that we love, we didn't really have favorite brands or stores like your average consumer.
I think one of the problems is that we don't have go-to brands, actually. I think what we're discovering here is that we need go-to brands and we don't have them.
Hopefully our stylists can help solve that problem for us. As we went through filling out survey question after survey question, we noticed that this time things felt a bit different. Significantly more thoughtful than the quizzes that we took in round 1. With Jamie, we saw a lot more effort to get to know us personally, asking about our preferences for metals, do we usually go to a tailor, what influences the items that we're picking when getting dressed in the morning, even stuff about our aversions.
Oh, do you have any textile preferences or aversions?
Oh, that's smart. That's a really smart question.
Yeah.
And while Stephanie and I are certainly down to clown with any fabric, we did really appreciate that Jamie was looking out for her clients with questions like that. Once we got over to Teresa's questions, it was clear that she was here to do one job: teach.
I would like to learn more about the following: how to shop on my own,
I think that's a great one.
how to accessorize, how to use my clothing in multiple ways, how to elevate my look, what cuts are best for my body type and frame. I mean, I'd like to learn all of these things.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie about this. My hopes at this point were pretty darn high. Like the feeling I get when you take the time to subscribe to the channel. While it may be the end to my time hosting, it's not the end of the channel by a long shot. Style Theory ain't going anywhere, my friends, and to make sure that you never miss an upload, you should smash that subscribe button. That way you get notified every time a new video goes live. Like the one that we have coming up next week that's gonna put Amy into a bit of a hairy situation. Can she wind up shaving the day? Well, it's all to answer a question that you've been asking us for months. So go ahead, subscribe, become a part of one of the fastest growing communities here on YouTube, and prepare for all the amazing adventures that Amy has coming up in the new generation of Style Theory. But for now, it's time to return back to my closet. And as the sun rose on day 1 of our try-on shoot, we were ready to be wowed by the professionals.
All right, so we are here with Teresa and Lauren, and you guys have been doing styling for how long?
Well, about 10 years now for me. Refined has been in business for 5, and Lauren joined me 2.5 years ago.
But they have a wealth of experience, certainly way more than we have, and we are so excited and a little bit nervous to have you guys here in our closet.
We'll be gentle, I promise.
I'm gonna hold you to that, Teresa.
So how do you go about bridging that gap from being strangers to like, hey, now you're my trusted fashion advisor?
Well, it depends on what service you're interested in. So today we're going to be doing a closet audit where we're focused mainly on what you already own. So with that, it's just getting to know someone's style, how they're wearing things now, their lifestyle, and how we can like take that to the next level, how we can elevate it and make it more interesting, more fashion forward, and make it make sense.
I'm super excited to sort of get another perspective and get a sense of someone else's outside observation of, how we're doing and how we dress and what would, maybe work better for us. Because I think that's something that everyone has a really hard time of getting an outsider's perspective of themselves. And it's so valuable because you get to see yourself in a whole new light.
Exactly.
Starting off right away, they really leaned into this learning process. And as we all know, I love learning. Teresa and Lauren really wanted to dig in and understand us so they could give us the best advice possible. And I was ready to bear it all, at least bear all my wardrobe. To make things easier, we actually lined up a bunch of our clothes that are usually stored in drawers or hangers behind the camera setup, so it's usually not this much of a mess in here. I promise. During the closet audit, Teresa and Lauren went through all of our items, removing anything they thought didn't serve us anymore. It could have been because of the fit, the color, the vibes. If they pull it, we donate it. Or at least that's the way they normally work, making sure that any lightly used clothing is going to those in need and not just being wasted in a landfill somewhere. And it's at this point, loyal theorists, that I need to take a moment to apologize. I've been hiding something from you this entire time. I've gone through a closet audit like this before, and it was not pretty.
So true story, I had a closet audit like this, but more so it was a closet intervention.
He was a resident assistant for freshmen. So the people he's RAing for are younger than he is, and they staged the intervention. There was 1 pair of shorts and 2 t-shirts left.
I was gonna say, yeah,
that
no,
was it.
It was terrible, and it sucked. But I felt so much better and more confident on the other end about understanding my style and what was and wasn't working when I'm walking around with a bunch of Reebok windbreakers that are 2 sizes too big, or pleated pants that look like I ripped them off of MC Hammer.
Not 1 pleat, like 8 pleats.
A lot of volume in the crotch area. My groin was ballooning all over the place. Teenage Matpat's like, wow, this is making me look great. And then literally everyone around me is like, wow, that guy looks like a weirdo. And one thing that over the last couple days of filming, since we filled out the survey, we feel like we fit into this uncanny valley of style.
I feel a bit stuck in this middle space right now.
And that's kind of the beauty of like personal style is it can be unique to you. You don't have to follow trends. You can buy into the trends that you like. I find a lot that people who are constantly chasing the next new trend are always going to look dated. When you look back at pictures, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Because you were wearing everything that was popular at one time instead of really cultivating a complete wardrobe that really feels like you and things you really love.
Feeling a lot better about the purge that was about to occur, we were ready to dive in.
Let's kick off the closet audit. First impressions, I'd love to get your take.
I would say organization-wise, 10 out of 10.
Hey!
I really...
Our type A is coming through again.
Yes, I appreciate the categorization. That makes it easy, not only for me, but for you.
Would you say like at a very foundational level, like even if you do nothing else with your wardrobe, like categorize it?
Oh, for sure. We developed something called the SOSC method. Break down your wardrobe first by season, by occasion, by style, and
like categorize it?
Oh, for sure. We developed something called the SOSC method. Break down your wardrobe first by season, by occasion, by style, and then by color.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of times just removing everything you can't wear right now from what you're looking at every day just makes it so much easier. There's a lot less clutter to rifle through to find what you're looking for. Also separating by occasion, having like your work wardrobe here and your everyday wardrobe here, so you can kind of like zero in on things. And there can be some crossover, and that's totally fine.
They were speaking our language. Organization, categories, scientific methods. All we needed was a color-coded Excel sheet and we'd be in heaven.
Try Puffs Plus lotion for noses that are sore and red, and make cold and flu season a soothing time instead.
Since I've been through this before and I've had that Band-Aid ripped off before,
Yes,
you
we'll
can start
ease
with
in
me.
with you. We've heard that the t-shirt and the fun jacket's kind of like your go-to formula,
Yeah,
right?
that's very easy for me. I actually change clothes probably 6 times a day because of the different amounts of filming that we're doing. A jacket and an easy t-shirt is very easy for me to swap between a lot of different outfits. That's kind of the comfort zone that I've fit into.
So maybe today we can try to create 1 or 2 different formulas that are easy for you to go to, and also identify some ways to style these things a little differently. For example, like this.
Yes.
Do you wear it often?
That is a souvenir item that I got from the Harajuku district in Japan. I love it, but yeah, when it comes to like actually wearing in a day-to-day setting, not so much.
So is this something you would want to wear more, or in your mind is this more just like I have it because it's a memory?
If I could figure out a way to wear it more often, that would be awesome, because I love the color, I love the vibrancy, but I also know it's a very extreme piece.
Maybe there's something we can do today that will allow you to get more use out of.
Yeah, the spooky clown face pattern, we can make that work a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, there's clown faces on here.
Yeah, something about the hot pink clown face jacket told me that I was probably going to be Teresa's most interesting client. But hey, she's a pro. So if anyone can figure out how to find styles that coordinate with spooky clowns, it's going to be her. Teresa really had a keen eye for finding new and interesting ways to mix and match our clothes that we already had. For example, I have a number of button-down shirts that I only wear for formal occasions like weddings, and tend not to wear them for anything other than that. But Teresa suggested that I take one of my sweaters and layer that on top for a new look. It totally worked. I gotta say, I really appreciated how supportive our top-tier stylists here were. Rather than just being like, oh, you should get rid of this, or oh, that's ugly. Teresa made sure to ask us what we really liked about each and every piece. If we liked it and wanted to wear more, well, she would put it aside and figure out a way to work on it later. And when she did think that it was time for me to let an item go, she had a very gentle way of making it known.
So this.
Yes.
Do you wear it much?
I haven't in years.
Okay, good. Let's get rid of it.
Okay.
It's a little dated.
It's my safari shirt.
It's not super interesting, and I think that, and you'll hear me say this a lot, like I think you're too cool for this shirt.
We ended up spending over an hour meticulously going through each and every item in my wardrobe. We found a couple of items that it was time to let go of, but we also picked out a couple of pieces that I really like, but never really found a good way of wearing. And Teresa was prepared to give us advice on how to wear them, but first we had to go through Steph's side of the closet.
What's your formula?
So for the months between September and like April, I'm a jeans and sweater gal. I'll have visual interest up here, and I'll tend to go pretty boring on the bottom. I love to incorporate fun shoes, but because I have a kid, because I'm walking around all the time, the really dainty high heel like part of my life, that's in the past.
The metallic pink platforms?
No, those are okay. So we went to the premiere of the Mario movie and I went hardcore peachcore. So it was all pink and those were the shoes for that particular moment.
I already put together an outfit in my head. When we first got here and we were kind of playing around with those shoes.
Ooh. I would love an excuse to wear those again.
Teresa being drawn to the pink platforms definitely gave her a couple of points in my book. She wasn't afraid of some of the wild and crazy options that existed in her closet. In fact, she was trying her best to lean into them. Why? Because she could tell that those were the items that Stephanie and I really enjoyed. I could see the gears working in her mind as she tried to find ways to make these difficult items into new fashionable attire. And that definitely included ditching things that didn't quite suit our current era.
So this was Stephanie when she worked a desk job. At the time that I bought this was an investment piece for me. This is Banana Republic. This is not a $20 shirt. This was like, whoa, a $35 shirt. I still in my brain view it as this really nice piece I have, even though looking at it now, I'd be like, I would never pick this up off the rack. Same with this piece. I haven't worn it in a while. I put it on when we went through our wardrobe and I was like, this still looks okay. I was like, it's not covered in cat hair or pills, so can't I just keep wearing it?
You know that the baseline is pretty low when it's, is it covered in cat hair or pills? Also, just for the sake of everyone at home, when we say covered in pills, we're not talking about like medication.
No, like the little linty pills.
Teresa and Lauren took us through each of Stephanie's pieces, saw what worked, what we wanted to elevate, and what could get the axe. Even helped us find a lot of gaps in our wardrobe.
Do you have a turtleneck? There were a few things where I was like, she had a black turtleneck.
I don't have a black turtleneck. We can identify a gap.
She's learning!
But one thing I know we'll never succeed in getting Stephanie to do, remove a price tag.
Why are the tags still on
Because
it?
you don't take the tags off your clothes.
Between the two of us, we filled up an entire clothing rack of pieces that we loved, but needed help learning to style properly. So Teresa and Lauren combined their fashion powers to give our old clothes new life. And I, for one, was excited to see what they had in store.
Okay, I'm standing in the hot seat, and I gotta say, I love this. This is so good. And again, it's all stuff that I already had in my closet and didn't use. Like these corduroys, I haven't worn them since I bought them. This shirt, I've only reserved for formal events with the family that are too boring for my other fun shirts. It brings such fresh life to these pieces that I had no idea what to do with.
It's like getting new clothes without getting new clothes.
It also feels significantly less wasteful.
And that right there, that was a big win. With nearly 11.3 million tons of textile waste ending up in landfills each year in America, learning to reuse and give new life to clothing that you already have not only helps you save money, it can also have a large-scale impact on the environment. Don't you love it when everything comes together?
So this is me in my first outfit. This is the a casual look. Again, same as Matthew. This is taking stuff that was underutilized in my wardrobe or never even got seen and putting it together in a way that feels super comfortable. I do like these shoes, but I never would wear them with a pant like this. I've never worn this open like a cool Miami grandpa. I love this.
I was gonna say, I have not seen you looking this relaxed. Even in your relaxed clothing,
I know.
You're not this relaxed. It embodies your sense of style and your personality, but in something that feels easy, but still looks put together.
The outfit was given Palm Beach Barbie, though I was still looking for my Ken-spiration to show up in this outfit. Maybe we'd have a bit more luck in the next one.
All right, outfit 2. This one, a lot more extreme, and I like how this has come together. You're mixing a really extreme pattern with another really extreme pattern, and I'm curious how you did that. I worry that if I were to try to recreate something like this or do something similar, that it would become like super messy and cluttered and confusing.
There are some kind of guidelines you can think about. So a really easy way to start mixing patterns is to just stick with patterns with the same colors. If anything has just like 2 or 3 colors, finding another pattern that has at least 1 or 2 of those colors represented will help. And then you want some diversity in the size of your pattern. So a smaller pattern with a larger pattern. So here your shirt has a little bit of smaller, more busy pattern, whereas this is like a huge graphic.
Even though we all agreed that the outfit wasn't perfect, the lesson still stood. I've always liked bright colors and patterns, but whenever I tried to mix them before, it ended up less maximalist and more just maximum eyesore. But Teresa was able to set me up with a formula that I could follow, kind of like Pythagoras personal styling. Next outfit.
Ta-da! Here's outfit number 2. Again, very unexpected. I feel like we've both taken a step into the louder end of the spectrum, putting together this vest, which I love, tucking it in, which is something I never would have thought of, but gives it a whole other level of structure, pairing it with a polka dot here and a polka dot here, not something I ever would have done, and I look at myself and I'm like, oh, this is so fun. I'm really enjoying this. I like looking at myself in the mirror. I make myself smile. This is a big win for me.
And because we were all having so much fun playing dress up, Teresa and Lauren actually threw in a bonus outfit for both of us free of charge.
This is it. This is awesome. I love this. I love this outfit. I think it's so cool. It is so fun. I feel so fresh and hip and alive. I've had these pants in my drawer for a long time, but I don't know what to do with brown pants. You have allowed me to find a jacket and an outfit and a complete ensemble here that uses them and makes me feel cool wearing them.
Matthew wears brown!
Matthew wears brown!
Yay!
Getting me to enjoy wearing a neutral? A khaki? This is actual witchcraft. Steph was also feeling the magic.
I was told that no arms needed in this one. It's more of a cape situation.
Exactly.
This is a really easy outfit for me to wear. These are jeans that I've had and I love and I wear all the time. Same goes with the shirt. I really like this one. This is one I've had for a while and that I also really enjoy, but don't always know the right thing to pair with. And then I've gotten to break out shoes that I haven't worn in years. I love these shoes and I just haven't had a moment where I thought that they looked sophisticated enough, but actually together, I think this all looks really nice.
Sure, they had the advantage of using our own existing clothing, but each look gave new life to pieces that had been sitting around for years, waiting to be worn. Not only did they give us the building blocks to do this by ourselves, they were able to give us clear, concise reasons for each outfit they were making, each item that they were removing, and even taking some of our most wild pieces and turning them into something that felt more wearable. In total, we spent $900 for the 2 closet audits, and $0 on new clothing items. Though Teresa did provide us with a postmortem on what items she would recommend we get to fill in the gaps in our wardrobe. All in all, it was a big win for both of us, which meant it was time for our final option. We were turning to someone we knew, someone we trusted, someone who had seen us on our good days and our not so good days, to see if that personal connection with us could unlock the final piece of this entire puzzle, the piece that we were still missing, pushing us out of our comfort zone just enough to elevate our style to the next level.
Today we're joined by Jamie Daniels, who is a longtime friend of ours.
We've known Jamie for about 4 years.
What's especially cool is that we didn't know that this side of Jamie existed until just recently. It only came to our attention that you've been doing this for what now? 3 years?
3 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what got you into it?
My love of fashion started with my mom. My mom was a businesswoman. She worked for a Fortune 500 company, and so she always wore dresses, pantsuits, skirt suits, heels every single day.
She's a stylish lady.
She is. She's so stylish. I always wanted to emulate her style. I was encouraged in college to go into a career in either medicine or the allied health profession, so I kind of did that, but I always missed fashion. So I started creating these OOTDs, and people started giving me compliments. My family just encouraged me to do this as a side business, and so I've been doing it for the past 3 years. I just love fashion so much, and I like helping other people find their fashion too.
Over the previous week, Jamie had taken our survey answers and designed each of us a custom lookbook. In it, she provided both of us a set of casual, professional, and formal options.
So first, here's just my little notebook. As soon as Stephanie brought this opportunity to me, I immediately went home and I scribbled down so many different things, like designers that I thought would really work for Stephanie, coquettish, girly, with fun quirks, different type of accessories that Stephanie would have.
Immediately, we could tell the amount of thought and planning that went into Stephanie's lookbook. Unlike what happened with the fiber stylist, Jamie wasn't just trying to get Stephanie to fit a mold of pre-selected items, she was trying to fit the items to Stephanie. As for me, well, I'm a blank page.
Just that?
Just bright colors and leathers.
What can I say? I'm a simple man, I have simple, vibrant tastes. And then she said something unexpected.
I want to go back to Ken. There's so many different Kens. So I went back and watched the movie just because of you. It wasn't a bad reference at all because there's so many different Kens. There's beach Ken, there's formal wedding Ken, villain Ken, Ken in leather, mermaid Ken. I tried to find a tail for you. It would not come in time. I was really excited about it.
That would be great.
Yet even with no mermaid look, Jamie did it. She gave me the Kenergy that I was looking for. At long last, someone understood the assignment. But before I could truly celebrate, we needed to go through the lookbook.
Okay, so take us through the lookbook.
When I think of you, I also thought of Back to the Future for some reason.
It is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I actually think that's so on point. Like, it's nerdy and sciencey, sure, but it's also whimsical and like kind of tongue-in-cheek, which I think embodies a lot of your vibe.
As we started to scroll, I think our reaction says it all.
Ooh.
And she was setting up some baby steps to ease us out of our comfort zone.
So is this jacket also for me?
Yes, it is. I thought it would be a great way to kind of get you away from leather.
That's fair.
Speaking of jackets, it turns out that Stephanie has been the true jacket influencer this entire time.
I already knew you also had a very structured jean jacket in your wardrobe.
I love it.
One should always
I've had
use.
it for years.
I bought one just because you had one.
You style influencer, Stephanie.
That's never happened before.
As we browsed through the rest of Jamie's lookbook selections, we were happy to see a wide variety of interesting and quirky options that we were excited to try on. Once again, Amy and Ash teamed up to shop for 2 outfits each for us to try on, picking items that they felt best showcased what Jamie had to offer while still pushing us out of our comfort zones. Starting with something that would truly make Ken proud, a pair of pinkish pants. Kind of more red, I guess.
All right, so casual outfit number 1. I gotta say, I like this one. I like this one a lot.
I think you look great.
This is really cool. Across the board, I love the playfulness of the shirt. I think the color is great. I think the contrast is nice. It's fun without being too loud and in your face. I like structure. That was the one thing that I hit over and over again on all the different surveys. I like things that are polished and structured. The white shirt does that, but the layer on top shows that, hey, I can also be relaxed and fun.
Structured but not stuffy.
Yep, that's exactly it, Steph. It only took us 2 giant episodes and me leaving the channel to finally figure out how to describe my style. Structured but not stuffy. Perfect. Someone make me a Pinterest board to commemorate it. And Steph at this point was bursting at the seams waiting for her turn.
Steph, go for it.
Ta-da!
I love this cardigan on you so much.
I love everything about the top half of this, for sure. I'm in love with this sweater. This is like the new staple of my wardrobe now. It's so comfortable. It's oversized. I really like this skirt. Where I struggle a little bit is with the shoes. That's the only thing.
But I completely agree with you though. Now that I'm seeing it like all together, I think I would pair it maybe with your loafers or some booties. I think that would be a much better fit.
But I think that this is overall so fun. I love the slouchy look with the skirt. All I think I need here is maybe a slight adjustment in the shoe, and I think we're there.
And with 2 wins solidly under our belt, we were ready to take this party from day to night with our formal options.
I gotta say, I love this. I am so floored by everything that I'm wearing right now. I wish that we were hosting the Streamy Awards again this year, so that way I could bust this out. This is everything that I want a formal wear suit to look at.
I don't think I can properly express on camera how much I love this suit. Jamie knocked it out of the park. We all collectively agreed that the butterfly bow tie was a bit much, but once we took it off, it opened everything up on the suit. It was a complete win across the board. The fit was flattering, the shoes helped tone down the busy floral pattern, the lightweight cotton material meant that I wouldn't be sweating up a storm. It even came with one of my favorite things of all time, lore.
Bounty Mega Roll. 4 rolls in 1.
I also want to just call out immediately, as I was getting dressed, I know some of the tags. The marriage might fail you, but this...
Sorry, technical difficult just happened. I don't know what just happened. Hold on, I gotta check my...
4 rolls in 1.
I also want to just call out immediately, as I was getting dressed, I know some of the tags. The marriage might fail you, but this...
Sorry, technical difficult just happened. I don't know what just happened. Hold on, I gotta check my...
It's very easy for me to swap between a lot of different outfits. That's kind of the comfort zone that I fit into.
So, like 8 pleats
A lot of volume in the crotch.
Like 8 pleats
A lot of volume in the crotch area.
It wasn't streaming this entire time. What the heck is happening? I think I may need to reset the stream. But then I think I need to go over to a different,
pick up in the store. I love this color. I love a sleeve with some volume. I ended up thinking that this was really flattering. Like, I never look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, wow, you just have legs for days, girl. And look, legs for days. I think this is so fun.
And that was the word that we kept coming back to time and time again here. Fun. Jamie spoke to the part of us that just liked to play with wild patterns and bright, vibrant colors, which was exactly what we asked for from the very beginning. And her familiarity with our normal styles meant that she could easily look at an item and know if it would flatter us. I think that this gives strong supporting evidence for the fact that if you have someone in your life that you trust and whose style you admire, ask them for advice. Get them to pick out a couple of items that they think might look good on you. As your friend, they want you to look good, and they can guide you along the path to testing out a style. So while she did end up being the most expensive option of the entire experiment, ringing in at a whopping $1,429, though to be fair, she did buy an entire suit, multiple pairs of shoes, a giant party dress, and a ton of accessories, I couldn't deny that Steph and I loved the way that we looked. We finally felt pushed outside of the box that we'd been trapped in for years. It was our style, but a new evolution to our style. Something that was slightly elevated from where we were before.
When you actually think about it, Steph and I fall into this weird middle area where, you know, we're parents, and as a result, there are certain expectations with being close to 40. But we do not dress like close to 40-year-olds. And that doesn't really reflect our style. I think a lot of the stuff that we were trying on with Stitch Fix was probably closer to where people our age are expected to dress.
Well,
right?
I just think that people in their 30s in general are expected to be in the middle of their career. So they're expected to likely be going into an office. They're expected to probably be either parents or thinking about becoming parents. So they're thinking about like buttoned up school events, more like functional clothes where you can work with your kids, less stuff that's going to be fragile or delicate or require a lot of maintenance. And so you end up with these silhouettes and these outfits that are not too fun. There's literally like the dad uniform and the mom uniform. And if you're falling outside of that, you stand out at like school events, you stand out in places like kids' birthday parties. We also just stand out in the general public of people who are usually going into an office for a job where we debate each morning if we're gonna walk down to the office wearing shoes or not. So we fall outside of a lot of the the expectations, and we don't want to dress to the expectations that everyone around us.
We're not just falling out from like people in our age range and our life stage in a lot of cases, but also in our industry. Our industry, this digital video world that we exist in, it is the era of TikTok and young teenagers and early 20-somethings, and we're not them. And so if we try to dress in the like most fashionable, trendy things that are circulating right now, it doesn't work for us because that's just not who we are.
That's just not interesting to us. I think we want to have a nice balance of like being fun and also thinking about pieces that are lasting. It's a tricky balance to strike.
Taking into account our experience in the first episode with Fiverr and Stitch Fix versus our two stylists today, there is one thing that is abundantly clear. Personal interaction, that one-on-one consultation time, it is the key to getting the most out of any styling service. While Jamie and Teresa were certainly on the pricier side of the spectrum up front, long-term, we're talking about a different story. By teaching you and setting you up with the skills and confidence that you need to approach your clothing in a new way, they are saving you money in the long term. Because with Stitch Fix and Fiverr, you have to keep going back to them for more and more options, spending more and more money on service fees, and clothes that, let's face it, are statistically less likely to fit your style. Then you're stuck with a pile of textiles just rotting away in your closet that you're not going to be using all that often, and now you're out a significant amount of money on top of it. It is a lose-lose across the board. So in the end, who really wins? It was me and Steph, because we've been able to go on this journey together. And I'm not just talking about the stylists. As my time on this channel comes to an end, as this timer finally ticks down to 0, I can't help looking back on the crazy idea that we had so many years ago.
Our feet shoes, but hey, that's just a theory.
A style theory.
Stay beautiful.
Stay beautiful.
Oh, that's such a good catchphrase.
Done.
Back then, I had no idea what this channel would look like, what wild adventures we'd go on here. Over the course of this past year, I've gotten to test edible underwear, open your eyes to the crimes of some of the biggest sellers in the space, even permanently tattoo a checkerboard pattern onto my skin. I'm legitimately concerned that it is a permanent tattoo. That'll be a weird souvenir to take away from this channel, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. More than any of the other channels, Style Theories brought the team together in ways none of us ever expected. When you take mud baths and showers together and then film it all for content, yeah, that'll do it. It's not every day that you hear your analytics guy singing in the shower.
Me out to the ball game.
But that journey's also been helpful for all of us in different ways. Ash's wardrobe, for instance, completely changed thanks to the Color for Skin Tone episode, and they look and feel great about those changes. 5 members of the team literally threw away their old makeup thanks to the Poison Makeup episode. I will never forget my sunscreen ever again, and I think we all pay a bit more attention to our flossing habits thanks to that toothbrush episode. And you know what? I'm so excited for what's to come. I may not be voicing the next generation of episodes, but I'm gonna be watching along in the background. Just like you guys, I'm gonna be there in the audience, learning and growing in my own personal style journey. Once a theorist, always a theorist. And honestly, this isn't gonna be the last time that you see me either. I told you at the start of the episode that I had a huge announcement. And no, I'm not rescinding my retirement or anything like that. But the team and I have actually been working on a huge project, a huge event, Creators in Fashion. This is gonna be a never-before-seen type of event happening here on YouTube. We're bringing the glamour of Fashion Week and runway shows to you, and we're not doing it alone. We're gonna be joined by tons of your favorite creators, both on and off the runway, as we turn the spotlight on all the hard work that creators have been doing. They're designing apparel, they're building businesses and brands on par with some of the biggest names that you see in Vogue or walking in Fashion Week. And we want to give them all a moment to shine here live on the channel, on Style Theory. In just over a month, on April 25th, we're gonna be doing the biggest thing to hit fashion in a long time. We're gonna be live streaming the first ever Creators in Fashion event live, right here on Style Theory, and you're gonna be a part of it. You know who else is gonna be a part of it? Me, because I'm gonna be returning to help host the show alongside Amy, as well as a couple other surprise appearances. So mark it on your calendars, my friends, April 25th, 2024. Creators in Fashion happening right here on Style Theory. So while I might be saying goodbye today, and I won't be hanging out with you here every week, I'm not gone forever. But I am confident that I'm leaving this channel in good hands. Amy has been here since the beginning. She loves this channel just as much as I do. I highly recommend that you get to know a little bit more about your new host thanks to the playlist that we put on the top shelf of the channel page to sell.
Oh, so I guess I'm gonna go. I'm heading over to food theory, so I can care less about oh my god, I just got jump scared by Matpat. It's so scary. I can care less about Matpat. I can care less about Style Theory because what am I wearing right now? Oh, Mickey Mouse sock that's 3 times too small. A sock that's on upside down. Pajama pants. a hoodie, but with no shirt underneath it, and hair, and like headphones. Oh my God! Escape. Can I seriously not leave? I guess I'm turning off my PC then. That's stupid. So, time for some more emotional damage.
Maybe food for adults.
Grab a Kind Bar, made with #1 ingredient, whole almonds. Nutritious and delicious. Shut out the noise. Trust your taste buds.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our latest. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue.
So, this is it. It's the final episode of Food Theory, my friends. I'm sad, you know, because this has been a channel that's been really personal for me. Steph and I cooking in the kitchen for the last 4 years. There were so many awesome memes like stuff the cream in me and eating a Christmas tree and hot sauce. I just
can't believe it.
I know, Santi, I know, it's sad. I'm sad to be leaving. I'm excited for you, but it's a bittersweet moment, you know?
Wait, what? No, man. No. I'm pumped that you're leaving. I get to be host of Food Theory.
Yeah, that's
No, I just can't believe that you're gonna be gone, and I'm never gonna redeem myself for that stupid cake. Floam, nightmares, forever.
Wait, so hold on. It's my final episode, and you're just focused on your prime cake episode?
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, if it means that much to you, you could make me a goodbye cake.
I can?
Sure, I guess.
I can have a redemption arc?
I mean, it is my final episode, but yeah, I guess I can make it.
Yeah, whatever, that's fine. Wait right here.
Alright.
I got an idea.
Alright.
This video is copyrighted.
Oh God, what have I done?
I know for
I'm gonna regret this.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Food Theory, where it's time for my just desserts. You know, when it comes to the 4 channels, Food Theory has always held a special place in my heart. Game Theory was the first, it's seen everything. Style Theory has always been about the team, it's also the baby of the group. And Film Theory, it's Film Theory. I'm joking, obviously, but that is kind of the running meme about it. But Food Theory, it's always been a bit more personal, you know? It was born in the middle of COVID. It's the first that really required me to be on camera. It's the one that allowed me to connect with Steph in a completely different way, while also playing off my own personal fears and insecurities in the kitchen and with food. It's the one where I got to be wackier and a bit more unhinged from the usual format, and food, just by its nature, is more personal. I mean, for proof of that, all you gotta do is go check out the family recipe episode from 2 weeks ago, which is one of my all-time favorite episodes that we've ever done across any of the channels. By the way, on that note, thank you for all your comments on that video. It's been heartwarming to read all those stories. If there's ever been proof that the comments can still be a place that's positive and uplifting, that one video right there, that is it. I've spent so much time down there just scrolling and reading with a smile on my face. It's been really beautiful, so thank you. Thank you for sharing. Anyway, back to the point. Knowing how special of a channel this has been, what better way to close out my time and transition over to the new host Santi than an episode dedicated to both of us? A celebratory cake for me, a redemption cake for him. You see, Santi's had a bit of a prime-sized chip on his shoulder from his last go-around trying to bake on this channel.
Can you show the camera kind of what's happening in the school?
No.
I think it would be really fun and exciting if you did.
You know what, I hate you all.
So, it only felt right to give him a second chance at the validation that he's been wanting so badly.
I'm ready, Matt.
Sure you are, Santi. So, that, my friends, is the challenge today. For Santi to make a finale cake. A cake that takes the best elements from the past 4 years of episodes and merges them together into one perfect bite. The ultimate Food Theory cake that embodies everything that this channel stands for. Well, everything except for the split icing.
Ha, ha, very funny.
Hey, I just wanted to make sure I clarified. Make sure we're all working on the same page here. So, how you plan on delivering us this one perfect bite, Santi?
Well, I figured I'd bring in a couple of members of Team Theorist, ask them for their favorite episode, and then use those as the key ingredients for this cake.
If I may borrow a phrase from John Cena, are you sure about that?
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, they're not gonna make it easy on you. In fact, I'd expect them to outright troll.
Yes, hi, hello, it is I, head editor Dan.
I love that you always feel the need to clarify that.
You guys keep putting it in the script. I'm just reading the lines, Matt.
So, what's your favorite episode of Food Theory?
Well, that's easy. It has to be the Mountain Dew pizza episode.
Rarely has there been a pizza that has actively made you want to brush your teeth after consuming it.
This is going to be really healthy. You're going to want to add this to all of your hot summer body diet.
Is that because it was one of the first ridiculous cooking episodes?
No.
Was it because that episode has the highest volume of puns per minute?
It most definitely was not.
Oh, I know it wasn't because of the camera work. That whole episode looked like we rubbed Vaseline over the lens.
If you must know, it's because that was the first episode I got to voice. And it gave me the chance to shade you in post the entire time.
Wait, who are you? This is my show.
It's me, head editor Dan. You hired me. He then added some food coloring to really give it that green pop it deserves, is what he wants me to say. But I know the truth. I see all the footage, Matt, and I know what really happened. He forgot to mix in the gel food coloring, and they had to scramble to try to put it back in. Here's the before, here's the after. Look, we're good editors, but we can't fix every mistake. Also, never say fix it in post, or I will come directly for you.
Oh my gosh, you are so right. I actually think that might have been the first episode that anyone outside of me got to voice. Must have just blocked that one out of my mind. Or maybe I was just delirious. Again, I was very sick for that episode. I mean, in total, I think there's been like, what, 4 episodes across the 2,000 videos we've done? No pressure there, Santi.
You do realize Mountain Dew is a terrible cake ingredient.
Yes, I do. Good luck.
As I was saying before,
are they all gonna be like this?
Oh no, not all of them, just most. Next up, it's Kai, our new social media manager.
Kai, what's your favorite episode of Food Theory?
My favorite would probably have to be the Christmas tree episodes.
You've got to be kidding me.
Welcome to the job, bucko. I just said you had to make a cake. I didn't say that you also had to let other people choose the ingredients for you. You did that one for yourself. I'm sorry, Kai. Please continue.
Thanks. Overall, it was just a solid narrative arc. Watching the evolution from the first year with you and Steph just munching on the bark.
Yep. It's tree. It's me eating a tree.
My saliva is just getting sucked right into this stuff.
It smells like Christmas. Oh, it's so good. It's all so delicious.
To watching you make cookies out of them and pranking Steph.
It's literal sawdust.
I mean, it's what? How much sawdust is in here?
30% by weight.
And then finally getting to something that was actually edible and getting to be a part of that was nice.
You know, it's not that bad.
Wow.
We're eating pine.
You do realize who created those recipes, right? It was me.
Cool. Well, bye.
Thanks, Kai. Next up, Amy. Amy, what's your favorite episode of Food Theory? Santi's gathering ingredients for a grand finale cake.
Favorite episode. I think it has to be Panera Bread Gloves because it brings together my 2 favorite things in the world, fashion and carbs. Honestly, I love them both so much. They're perfect together and they're perfect for this episode.
Bread? Bread is perfect for the cake episode?
Yes, it is bread, it is cakes. They're the same kind of thing. One just has fashion sense.
Is it too late to quit?
Yes it is. Thanks, Amy. Hey, Ash.
Hey.
What's your favorite episode of Food Theory and why?
Ooh, okay. My favorite episode is actually kind of a personal one to me. I really like the Oreo episode.
Oh, thank goodness. Finally, a normal cake ingredient.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. You know how our episodes are designed to teach people stuff?
Yeah?
Well, Santi's learning a lot today. Tell me about Oreos.
All right then. Well, one, I was just really proud of the work I did in putting that whole shoot together. But also, man, did it serve some absolutely incredible memes.
Like, oh, look at that thick layer of cream in there. I want that thickness inside my body.
I'm gonna go hide.
Nope. Don't say that. I should not have said that. It's hot. I'll give it that. Oh yeah, you can see it melting. My poor fingies. It's hot on my fingies.
Set it on a plate.
Set it on the plate, they say. Don't burn your fingies, they say. Just blew it off, Jason. I know my saliva is heavy. I've got the heaviest saliva in the business. So sorry.
My good dude, you were so questionable.
Continuing around the office, Lee gave us the Diet Coke taste test because he's also addicted to that sweet, sweet nectar. Josiah gave us Prime Exposed, and Tom added the TikTok favorite, pink sauce.
I hate you, Tom.
Okay, it could have been a lot worse. Just feel lucky no one said the Kentucky Fried Chicken episode or the cabbage soup episode. But what about you, Santi? I'm curious. What's your favorite? You're the one taking over the channel after all.
I mean, I'm not doing myself any favors with this one, but it's actually the fries episode. Never order McDonald's medium fries, I think is the official title. It was one of the first on the channel.
Actually, it was the first.
I just like the science of it all and thought it did a good job of showing what this channel's all about, you know? In general, the fry episodes tend to be really fun. Sprite and fries, another personal favorite.
So you've got yourself Mountain Dew, Diet Coke, bread, spruce, Oreos, pink sauce, and French fries. Is that enough ingredient inspiration for you?
I feel like I should quit while I'm behind.
You think you could find a way to fit it all into a cake?
I have some ideas.
Well, with everyone's favorite episodes compiled, it's time for me and Steph to head to the kitchen one final time. At least one final time on camera for content. It's not like I'm never gonna eat again. We were there to see how Auntie might try to fit all of this into something even slightly resembling a cake. And as it so often does, things immediately got off the rails.
It's fine for Steph and I who are not in the bro
We're not
community.
bro dudes,
Yeah.
as it were.
So-
And so can you explain the dap?
Yeah, if I were to get dapped up, what would I do?
For context, Santi had called Justin to get dapped up, and we were intellectually curious about what this mating technique was. Like researchers observing gorillas out in the wild.
It's in the hand motion.
You look like you're doing a little Edelweiss.
Yes. If you're a bro, you're too cool for a handshake, right? Handshake, you go in firm, up, down, release. That's how you do it.
That is the hope, yeah.
Yes. There.
Maybe a couple,
Boom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dap it. Dap it.
I get very intimidated by hand-to-hand interactions that are not that. I don't read people all that well, and so I can't just like flow with it.
You have to remember, cool peaks in high school, right? So you have to think about it like you're the kid in the back of the class. You're not trying hard. You don't want to like go in with a lot of emphasis or anything. You just want to go just cup it.
Yeah.
You want to get the clap, and you could do that.
Are we doing the bro?
But you could just do that, and like you just have to be relaxed with it. Like you wanna get a good clap.
Okay.
Nope. See? Nope. You're gonna go from here, and we're gonna clap like that.
Okay.
And then just that. That's it.
Okay.
All right. Ready? So just relax. There you go. Wow. Okay. Well, you exploded it, but that was a good clap.
I really try to avoid physical contact with young children entirely.
I do too.
That's not really what I'm going in for,
But if
Santi.
you're driving around and a kid just kicks a sweet gnarly tray, you're like, hey, dap him up.
I honestly can't tell if he's being ironic or not. Is this a bit? I don't get it. Regardless, we were all set with the ingredients. It was time to get cooking, but not before one final sick burn from Steph.
We're gonna take all of that and mash it into a monstrosity that we will call a cake.
You've called a lot of things cake in the past.
Okay, and you called even more things calzone, and none of them were right.
You know what? You're lucky I didn't put ricotta in this cake. I was this close to doing it.
It would have made it closer to a calzone than anything you've made before.
Oh, she got you there.
Yeah, actually.
That was a good burn. Yeah, Steph, hit me up with that dap, girl.
Oh, yeah.
Hit me up with that. You got to practice the handshake.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
See, now this episode's never gonna see the light of day.
So how did Santi expect to work all of these insane ingredients into one tasty, or if not tasty, at least edible bite? Well, Mountain Dew and Diet Coke were set to be the sponge layers. Santi insisted on another round of trying to make frosting out of prime, and then there were the croutons.
Amy's favorite episode was the bread glove. So we're gonna take the croutons and we're gonna pulverize them into a little bit of a dust.
Man, nothing says delicious cake quite like salad croutons.
It's actually really interesting because you have the airiness of the cake. You know what? You'll see. You will see. You'll all see.
I love it when a cake is described as interesting.
From the guy who also says that he doesn't like cake.
All right, Dapper, what do we got going on?
I'm gonna have you both pour in the respective fluids, and we're gonna pour them into the cake molds.
It's pillowy and cloud-like, actually. It's very fluffy, got lots of air in there.
It's so fluffy.
So the science behind this is actually really cool. Instead of baking soda and baking powder, our leavening agents are the sodas. In using the sodas, the carbon dioxide that's released creates those similar air bubbles and causes the cake to rise. Plus, we get to incorporate the flavors of the Mountain Dew and the Diet Coke. It's honestly all super cool.
With the sponges in the oven, Santi encouraged us to get some of our aggression out on the croutons.
Oh my god!
What can I say? Between FNAF lore and hot wings, I guess I have some pent-up rage from 13 years on YouTube.
I meant like, take the bag and smash it. Oh, that was manly. I like that.
Yeah,
you were like, I don't care.
Bro.
Yeah, there you go.
Dap it, bro. Yeah,
what is this last part? There you go. Oh, because you're like, wow, you are wildly efficient.
I am very pro therapy. I am also very pro punching croutons really hard. With the croutons all mashed and the Fredbear trauma all processed, it was on to the prime frosting.
It's like strawberry ice cream.
I was gonna say it does look like strawberry ice cream.
Oh,
my god,
How's it taste?
so bad.
Very thick.
So sweet.
Ooh, very sweet. Very sweet on the front end. Very sour on the back end.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
This is
ride.
gonna go very well with something else.
Huh. Interesting. I am so optimistic about how this is gonna go.
Let's go! See! Anyway, that was my own private moment.
At this point, Steph and I were dismissed from the kitchen so Santi could surprise us with the final reveal. A few hours later,
What does it mean to be a fan? It means you have plans this Sunday. Being a fan means you have a community. A place where moments are remembered and our stories and reels.
It's time. How would you like this to be? Is there a drum roll? Should I lift? Like,
I'll
how
lift
did you
it
envision
for
this?
you. I'll lift it for you.
Was this like a small laundry basket?
Where did this thing come from? No cloche, no nothing.
It's for my undergarments, but
you know. Hold up.
It's his boxer basket.
Here.
It's literally on our cake.
Hold up. I'm gonna save you on this one. Okay.
Yes.
This is the last time I can do this for you too.
Okay.
He chose this in commemoration of us cooking in a dryer episode.
Santi, that was brilliant.
Wow, Santi.
Way to
Yes.
go.
I'm
Dap
so
up
glad
for
you
that
worked that
one.
in
there we go.
There's a dap up here.
Oh, dap.
We
Oh,
forgot
God,
in the
no.
course of
Dap
what
it
is
up.
definitely the same day how to dap up.
Yeah, here, dap it, bro.
Why do you hit my wrist? Like you miss my hand every time.
That's how you dap.
That was better. We couldn't get a smoke machine, so sorry for the lack of presentation there. But so
that's awesome. Actually, this is really pretty.
Okay, so what happened here? What had happened was
It's French fries.
yes.
It's fries.
If you look at it from above, which we have that shot, it is the food theory ring.
That's the food theory. That's
Yes,
the quadrant.
that's the-
That's the quadrant.
So that was supposed to be
I thought it was
that.
a random yellow blob. I thought it was like someone peed on the cake.
Well, there goes my art.
I'm like, we've done a lot of weird episodes, Santi, but we haven't done like, can I drink my own urine? That's more of a Good Mythical Morning style episode.
Well, I mean, we were talking about tears, and I was thinking bodily fluids. No, this
easy to confuse what comes out of your eyes with what comes out of other parts of your
both
body.
salty, I guess. I don't know. So
The yellow pea stain notwithstanding, we were a far cry from prim cake. Even down to these cute little crinkle cut cake fries on top. Such a cool detail. So with everything ready, it was finally time for my last chance to stab something on the show.
Ready? Can I stab the cake? Yeah! Oh, that was satisfying. That was good. Ooh, sliced right down the middle of that
down in
Oreo.
the middle of an Oreo.
Right through that double stuff.
So what we should see here, hopefully, is a nice.
Is that you that I just heard swallow really hard?
It's like Santi in one moment just went through the entirety of puberty. What we should see here, hopefully.
It's the 5 stages of grief that you're hearing there.
This is my opportunity to do it. Ooh, that looks so good!
If any regular person were to see this, they would probably say, wow, what a delicious pistachio and chocolate cake. But nope, this is food theory. That is Mountain Dew and Diet Coke mixed with prime, spruce, and crouton. Yum yum. You can't deny that it actually looks great though. But obviously the big question here is how it tastes, which is why it was time to get everyone on the team in the kitchen ready to taste for the moment of truth.
It's very chocolatey, Diet Cokey, and rosemary-y. Interesting. All right, everyone.
Happy next chapter of food theory.
Here we go. Food theory, bite.
After an awkward pause as everyone chewed and processed their feelings, the results were in.
Very thick. Dense. It's spongy.
And they were mixed.
Acceptable. I got some crunch in mine.
Oh yeah.
Was there supposed to be crunch?
Do you not see the Oreos on top? God.
I ate the inside.
I think he found the crouton.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what about the crouton?
You found the crouton. There's crouton in there.
So the croutons are crushed in the middle for a little bit of texture, a little bit of flavor.
So you're saying the weird uncanniness of the crunch in the cake was calculated?
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know.
Bread gloves, okay?
Where was the ranch?
In the pantry where it belongs.
You know what, Santi? I really like it.
I like it.
I think it's pretty great.
So as a cake, definitely an improvement over prim cake. I feel it fair to say that Santi got some level of redemption. But again, the assignment was to capture food theory in a single bite. And for that, it absolutely passed with flying colors.
You know what? I think that this cake is a perfect representation of the last 4 years of food theory episodes. It's not the tastiest cake I've ever had. It's not the most precise cake I've ever had. It's a little bit messy. It's a little bit homespun.
There's a lot of sugar involved.
A lot of sugar involved. A lot of weird flavors thrown in there. If I were to pick a cake to perfectly encapsulate everything that we've done here on our time, this is a good one. Thanks, Santi.
I'll take that.
I'm a kid who grew up scared of food. Home cooking for me was Burger King and Pizza Hut. When I started this channel, I could make popcorn on a stove and the occasional pizza. For crying out loud, my healthy food advice was to not order a medium fry at McDonald's. This wasn't ever about being the best chef or giving you the perfect recipe for fine dining. It was about this. It was about curiosity and exploration through food that might lead us down some pretty weird and awkward paths.
What is this?
It always ends up being a good time. And now I look at where we are. I look at where I am. I can make a delicious fried
Blech.
chicken better than KFC.
Nope,
or a
I'm done.
perfect replica of my grandfather's
Bye-bye, time for
delicious
Sunday.
Polish.
Uh-oh, time for emotional
Whatever you wish for.
damage.
We wish too. First response. Sensitive to you.
Boost your skin's natural radiance with our hydrating glow enhancers for
Goodbye.
bodies. And now
Time for answer
You know, film theory tends to get itself a bad rap. As the middle child of the theorist lineup, it tends to get overlooked or forgotten. So much so that it's become its own meme at this point. And yet, of all the channels, film theory covers, by my estimation, the most important topics. Don't get me wrong, you have plenty of silly episodes mixed in here, like How to Kill Deadpool, Willy Wonka's OSHA violations, me trying to become host at Jeopardy! Your lost, guys, by the way. But you also have episodes warning about deepfakes, propaganda, net neutrality, copyright, how fragmented pop culture is eroding our collective sense of identity, resulting in heightened levels of depression and isolation. Those are important and heavy topics to cover because, as we said in one of our recent theories, media is a tool that can enact change and influence public thinking at a global scale. The entertainment we consume, it shapes us and our beliefs. And like any tool, it can transform into a weapon if misused. Which is why today's episode, my final film theory, feels so important. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the show that's now entering its zaddy era. Today I wanted to start off with a question. I want you to think about all the media that you consumed during your childhood, all the TV shows and movies that you loved as a kid. And now, with the perspective that you've gained as you've gotten older, can you name for me 5 good father figures from children's media? I'm talking about wholesome dads who want the best for their kids, who try really hard to teach them and nurture them and show them love and all the good things that dad should be doing. Legitimately, go down to the comments, type out who comes to mind, because I consume a lot of media, and I had a hard time making this list. Back when we brought Leon as creative director here on Film Theory, this was actually one of the first conversations he and I had about the state of media. Even more recently, we've asked this question around the office, and people really struggle with it. I mean, it's not impossible to come up with a list. You'll eventually get there, but it's shockingly hard. Our list ended up being Bandit from Bluey, Arthur Weasley from Harry Potter, Uncle Iroh from Avatar: The Last Airbender, Mufasa from Lion King, and Goofy from a Goofy movie. But the fact that it took us a significant amount of time to do is pretty darn telling. Fathers in sitcoms are usually bumbling buffoons, deadbeat dads, or need anger management. And it's not just a lack of good dads here either. Honestly, most of the male characters that you see across media, both young and old, they're not great. Classic cartoon kids are almost universally bratty, cruel, greedy, or inconsiderate.
Hey, Brooke! Why do you do this? You're so stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Even the oldest of old school animated characters that have been
Why do you do this? You're so stupid! Stupid, stupid, stupid!
Even the oldest of old school animated characters that have been sanitized to be as brand safe and neutral today as possible, they started off as horrible jerks.
Abruptly, he becomes an uncontrollable monster.
They're angry, they're violent, they're not good people. So why do I bring it up in my final episode? Well, as a dad, I've started to pay a lot more attention to these sorts of things in the media that I watch because I want to know if it's something that I can actually share with Ollie. And surprisingly, there isn't a lot that I'm super happy with sharing. And it all comes down to a lack of shows with characters that I actually want Ollie to grow up to be like. Now, I can't stress enough that we live in the most open time ever for children's entertainment. Newer shows like The Owl House, Amphibia, and Kippo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts are given voices to historically underrepresented groups as both creators and characters. There is something in there for everyone, and that's awesome. But the pickings for boy characters that I want my son to try to be like, of male characters that I want him to look up to, they are mighty slim, my friends. That's kind of a problem. So today, I wanted to look at why. Why are there so few of these truly great role models for boys? Why, in this era where we have more choice in what we can watch than ever before, are there so few choices choices that have good male role models for my son to look up to? Well, after diving into the history and economics of this sort of media, it all comes down, as it so often does, to money. Surprise, surprise. Don't touch that dial, my friends. It's time to crack this case wide open. So to start things out, it should be noted that gender identity for young children doesn't really become a factor for several years into their life. According to research, most kids don't start to identify with one gender or another until the age of 3. And it's important that they're encouraged to explore that at their own pace. The last thing we want to do is to sort kids who are still discovering themselves into boxes. And likewise, children can of course have role models who are not the same sex or gender that they are. It is awesome for boys to have role models who are women, vice versa, and everyone beyond and in between the binary. I'm just talking about it today because I want to make sure that there are good examples set across the board for everyone. And right now, the male category, pretty severely lacking. And me saying that might come as a bit of a surprise, right? Like, there are a ton of male characters out there in media. They have been the bedrock, the focus of entertainment forever. So how am I possibly standing here saying we need more male role models? Well, this is one of those episodes where just looking at the numbers isn't going to be telling you the whole story. A 2008 study from Television conducted across 24 countries found that there were twice as many male characters than female characters in children's TV. A decade later, a similar study from the Gina Davis Institute on Gender and Media found that roughly half of all episodes of children's entertainment had female leads. That is good news. Everything's balanced, as all things should be. So what's the problem? Well, again, let me be clear. This isn't a case of where are the male characters? There are plenty of them out there. We are tripping over them. Instead, this is a conversation about the quality of those characters. What's going on with the types of male characters that we keep seeing? Have you ever stopped and considered how many of them actually embody the traits that you would want a kid to emulate? At a quick glance, the modern era, it's seen a wide spectrum of overwhelmingly positive, affirming female and female-coded characters. You have everything from Doc McStuffins to the Miraculous Ladybug, Hello Kitty, Bluey, Luz from the Owl House, most of the gems from Steven Universe, Carmen Sandiego, who's apparently a hero now. Barbie just had herself an empowering live-action adaptation, and she's also sort of a YouTube vlogger dishing out shockingly solid mental health advice.
Maybe I'm just being really unfair on myself. You know, I don't always have to be upbeat and positive.
Even parodies of the overconfident, self-reliant neo-heroine like Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time ultimately get to be effective political leaders, excel at STEM fields, kick butt on the battlefield, and get the girl in the end. The fact that these characters exist, that is awesome. I don't want to take anything away from that. And if this is how we're overcorrecting for decades of women being trapped as damsels in distress or trophies, I am all about that. But then you look over at the boys and things get a bit more complicated. Sure, there are some truly great and kind characters that I do want my son to look up to. For as much fun as I've had here on the channel saying that he's actually a ruthless businessman, Ryder from the Paw Patrol, fantastic role model. He's smart, he's resourceful, he's caring, he's a leader, and it was awesome that Ollie dug that series. Probably in part because he saw Ryder and wanted to connect with him. Same thing with Dipper from Gravity Falls. Also a win for being smart, curious, brave, and a loving brother. Also, there's a handful of solid. These also involve a lot of war, crime, death, fighting in general. They tend to solve most of their problems through punching, and these also involve a lot of war, crime, death, fighting in general. They tend to solve most of their problems through punching and physical violence. Aang, Luke Skywalker, Harry Potter, they're selfless heroes who do what they think's right no matter what the cost. But they're also sitting smack dab in franchises built on needing to be violent, fighting, often killing soldiers, stormtroopers, dark wizards. Not generally a drawback that you're facing from traditionally feminine skewing characters like Sophia the First or Elena of Avalor. And if they're not violent or surrounded by violence, well, very often they're just not good. Johnny Bravo's a big old womanizer. Timmy Turner's a whiny, spoiled narcissist. Jimmy Neutron's arrogant, destructive, mean to girls, and regularly uses his intelligence as an excuse for being a jerk to his friends. Even Phineas and Ferb, who are smart and resourceful and funny, are outright disobeying their parents each and every day of summer. It's actually the reason Ollie wanted to stop watching the show. He was afraid of them getting in trouble for constantly breaking the rules episode after episode. I think you get the idea. Look at media through this sort of lens and suddenly you see examples everywhere you go. Just to get some hard numbers in here, that same Gina Davis study that I mentioned earlier noted that male characters, they're more likely to be violent compared to female characters and also almost twice as likely to be depicted as a criminal. Remember, we're not talking about fun characters to watch or characters that you like. I think most of the examples I listed above fall into at least one of those two categories. No, we're talking about characters that are admirable role models for young boys. Characters whose activity we want them to imitate or look up to as they develop during childhood. I also want to reaffirm, I personally like all of these shows and movies. There is no judgment here if you're a fan of any of these sorts of things. But they're just not shows that I can show Ollie until he's much, much older because of the implicit lessons that they contain. Boys are violent. You solve your problems with punching. If you break rules and treat people badly, don't worry, there are no real consequences. You're the main character of your own show, and everything just works out well for you. So with all of that established, I think we can start to discuss why things have ended up this.
I think this may be right. I'm gonna end this here. And around 11:30